Good morning, everybody. So, I did not do conscious coffee yesterday. My apologies. No conscious coffee. But we're back today and hopefully tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be getting up early and driving for 5 hours because I'll be teaching at a retreat. So, but today I got up and poured my coffee and was thinking about things. I'm just like, I don't know exactly what to teach, what to share on this morning, I should say. And then it just kind of came to me. I was like, what's present in my life? And what's present in my life is definitely asking for answers and not necessarily feeling like I'm getting answers in certain areas. Yet still knowing that they're there, but I just made a statement to a friend last night. I said, I just wish that an angel would descend down on me and give me an answer, like give me a sign, give me a direction, like here you go, here's your sign. And as I said that, I'm like, I know that the answers are there. I know that that there's signs and everything. Just because I'm not seeing them doesn't mean that they're not there. So that's what today's message is all about. Why we do not receive the messages, why we do not see the messages, and about opportunity and how we really should start taking advantage of the opportunities. But it really comes down to what we see is what we're looking for. And you can have two people living underneath the same roof. So you have these two people, they're living together. One person is, just upset and angry and frustrated about things and going like, there's just so much crap going on, right? And then you have the other person that can look out into the world, or they live together, they're experiencing life together. So the same scenarios are being presented pretty much. But the second person is just happy and excited about things and, turn on to life. Oh, sorry, it's early. So how is that possible that one person in the household could have this experience of being happy and excited about something, and the other person is feeling destitute and disgusted with life and frustrated? It's really an inside game. I mean, that is where our inside choices come in. If we are focused in on the negativity, then more negativity is going to show up. If we're focused in on the positivity, then more positive stuff is going to show up. Our outlook on the world is what we receive back, and that's why it's so important to really be aware as to what we're seeing in the world, whether it is in the world, quite literally, like our societies, our governments, that kind of stuff, or if it's just right in our own house, our own backyard stuff, or internal stuff. What we see depends on what we are looking at. Now, why is it that we pray, we meditate, we ask for guidance, we call on guides, we call on angels, we do this kind of stuff, and then we don't get any answers? So it appears, well, once again, it's what we're looking for. And often the reason why we don't get those answers from God is kind of like because we're a thief. We're a thief in the night, and who's running from the police. So, if you're always running away, from the answer, then the answer is not going to present itself because you can't see it. You're getting caught up in the running away and the turning away and the not wanting to feel, the not wanting to see, the not wanting to experience what is right in front of you. So you turn away. And we do this in so many different ways. A lot of the time it's the things that are right in front of us that are presenting themselves that we are the most fearful of, that we don't really want to express emotion toward, or maybe it's the emotion itself. That's actually typically it. It's the emotion itself that we're running away from, because it brings up something. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. It's, something that we're not overly ready for, we would say. So we make light of it and we turn away and we run the other direction. So we turn into the thief in the night and we run away from the police, right? Meanwhile, God's going, here's your sign, here's your sign, here's your sign, and trying to get through to us in all these different ways. I know that, like, for me, just to bring it down to like a personal level, I have all these signs popping up. I don't know what the signs mean right now, which tells me that I'm having a little bit of the thief in the night syndrome of, like, I'm trying to run away from what is right in front of my face. I'm very aware that I'm trying to run away from what is right in front of my face. I'm scared to lean in on certain things. Well, where are you scared to lean in on certain things? What are those things that potentially can be presenting themselves to you in lots of different ways? Do you have something that keeps getting stated to you over and over again? Do you have, certain things popping up in your life, a feeling that is coming through that just will not go away? You don't quite know. Is there, certain words that keep popping up in your life, a message that keeps coming through, and you're like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? What does this message mean? My old teacher, Denise Lynn, she always was talking about, she was very big on music and listening to what's playing in the background. So when you're going through different changes in life, and you walk into the grocery store, and all of a sudden you turn to go down one aisle, and this song comes on, and it's like it just captivates you, and the words, there's just that, like, one line of lyrics, it just boom, captivates you. Pay attention to what those lyrics are. Pay attention to what they're saying, and really, really tap into that, because what you'll notice is that that kind of stuff is going to happen over and over again. So, like, maybe you're at the grocery store, and then you're in the car, and then somebody says something to you that's basically the same thing that you were just hearing. So the message is trying to get through. It's just if we're willing to receive it or not. We don't receive our messages because we're not willing to receive them. We're resisting the messages consistently. I got a quote from Norman Vincent Peale here that I found. Any fact facing us is not as important as our attitude toward it, for that determines our success. I can't talk this morning. Our success or failure. That's Norman Vincent Peale. I'm going to read it one more time because I kind of messed that up. Any fact facing us is not as important as our attitude toward it, for that determines our success or failure. And, as I look at that quote, it's really, that quote is just coming back to you and I. We don't see things the way they are. We don't see things the way they are. We see everything as we are. That state that we are inside. If you are in a state of scarcity, a state of fear, then where are you feeling empty inside? Where are you feeling lack inside? How can you deal with that internally so that it starts to show up externally? How can you have more fulfillment in here? If you look at and you say, oh, well, the good stuff always happens to so-and-so. That's always there. They always have good stuff happening. They're always happy. They're always pumped up. They're always this. They're always that. Blah, blah, blah. That doesn't happen to me because I'm just not lucky. Right there's the problem. You go, I'm just not lucky. That good stuff doesn't happen to me. Blah, blah, blah. This is the kind of bullshit that we feed ourselves. We tell ourselves that we're not worthy. We tell ourselves that, we're not lucky. We tell ourselves that it never happens to us. Only happens to others. opportunity isn't really, there's not that much opportunity out there. I was just yesterday, somebody told me that they have this desire to go, and I have this desire to go and flip houses and to get into the flip houses market. And you know, with the real estate market kind of being a boom, especially here in Texas, there's so much opportunity in real estate right now. But so wanting to flip houses and wanting to do all these different things, and then they had a meeting with an attorney, and this attorney used to flip houses like 20 years ago. And then, of course, the market crashed and all this different stuff. So the attorney felt compelled to share his knowledge and make sure that they understood the risks at hand. And as he was telling them about the risks at hand, he's like, you know, that's why if I was you, I wouldn't get into this. If you're wanting to get in real estate, just go be a real estate agent. Like, go learn your stuff, go be a real estate agent. But that right there, you're gonna lose your ass. You're gonna do da. It's not like you can't do that. And literally the words that the attorney used for this person were on the lines of, you know, I know because I've done it, and there's no opportunity in the Dallas area. There's no opportunity to do that. You need to have this going on, and that's not here. Now, I'm using this because it's interesting. I have like a massive amount of people that are getting into real estate in my life. So I could easily look at that and support this person and say, well, that attorney's right, because, you know, like, everybody and their brother is getting into real estate right now in one way or another. So there's so much of this going on. Maybe you need to look at a different avenue. I refuse to look at things like that. I'm like, no, because everybody could go and get into real estate. Only a few are actually the ones who are the most passionate, most turned on, most focused on it are the ones that are going to really go out there and have the good deals. So it comes back to that inside game. And for that attorney, he had his time 20 years ago, but now he thinks that that's just set in stone. Well, that was 20 years ago. It's like, get out of the past. And what do? We live in the past in so many different ways. We're living in the past. We make assumptions on our future picture, on the moments of even right now, based on things from the past. And as long as we're living in the past, where are we never at? We're never right here in the present. And we don't even know what our future can potentially bring, because if we're always coming at things from this point of our past, then we don't even know what's accessible, available to us right now. Get into the present moment on things. The more you can really be here and look at things from like, okay, I'm not me of 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, the me of 20 years ago would make such different choices in her life than the me of today makes. And then there are those things that I too guilty of here, that I go, yeah, but you know, life has taught me that blah, 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 blah. All right, life teaches us things. We do learn from life. There are certain things, just like, you know, you learn that there's this thing called gravity, right? And we can't really argue with gravity. If I drop my coffee cup, boom, my coffee's gonna break. We cannot argue with certain things. But then there are the things that just because we had it happen a few times does not mean that that's really the way it is. What that means is that there is healing work that needs to be done there. There's things that we need to work on there that up until this point we have not accessed, we've not dealt with. So realize that if you fed yourself the bullshit lie of, I'm always going to be single, you go, no, I'm just always going to be single, but you really desperately desire a relationship, there's a reason for that desire. What you desire desires you too. I love that quote. I really, as tough as that quote might be sometimes for me to even deal with, I go, I know that it's true because I've seen that quote happen. I've seen that happen. I mean, it's like when I'm really in that good place and I feel full and I feel happy and I feel, you know, like turned on and excited and glowy and all this good stuff. Well, my desires just seem to manifest like this. I mean, It's magic. It is magic, and it is a beautiful magic. When you get down and depleted into scarcity, fear-based doubt stuff. Remember, I think it was back in January. I want to say back in January, I did a whole talk on doubt and how when we have doubt, what we're doing is we're slamming the door on opportunity. We're slamming that door on opportunity. We're slamming the door on our desires to manifest, where we set like, yes, here's my desire, and I got a lot of belief, and then doubt creeps in. And the longer we sit with doubt, the harder that door is actually slammed shut. So it's really like, don't sit in the doubt too long. Don't sit in that fear-based thinking too long. Get out of the old programs. See them for what they are and go, all right, that's an old program from my past. That's not who I am today. This is not the scenario of today. I can have this. It is out there. There's a reason why I'm feeling called towards it. There's a reason why there's this pull inside of me towards this. There's a reason. Believe in your intuition. I was getting my taxes done the other day. And I wonder why, it's tax season, right? Getting my taxes done. I decided to file an extension because I was having a really rough day. And I had all my stuff put together. I just really was not in the mind. Like, I went and did my taxes last weekend, and I needed to go find my mileage log. And found my mileage log, set up another appointment. And everything in my taxes, like the woman I was working with, was just... something was setting me off about her. Like, my gut was just telling me, don't trust her. Maybe you need to have somebody else look at your taxes. So that's like, while I was working with her, I literally wanted to stand up and walk out and just not get my taxes done. But I felt the pressure of like, oh shit, like I gotta get my taxes done. And then we came up to the 17th, and of course the IRS kicked it out until the 18th, right? But I didn't pay attention to that. I was like, in my mind, it was like, okay, gotta get this done today. So the evening of the 17th, I go that afternoon to get another appointment. And everything inside of me, once again, as I'm telling the woman what had happened with the woman that I had met with. And this woman that I had met with, actually, she's definitely trying to break the law. And my, went up. She gave me her personal email, and she had told me that I need to email my bank account information to her, and just in case I get something back. I'm like, lady, I'm not getting anything back. And I'm like, why do you want my bank account information? And she's like, well, I need you to mail that to my personal my personal email, because I can't receive confidential emails like that with sensitive stuff to my work email. And I'm going, that doesn't make any sense, because so I'm just like, I'm just trying to get out of there. I just got my stuff, and I'm just like, I just got to get out of here, because I was not in a good space, emotionally speaking, to deal with that. So this is like, okay, that's just like, so I tabled my taxes for that day, and then I go back and I'm like trying to go do my taxes, and I'm telling the lady at the front desk, because I was as I tapped into this, I was like actually kind of pissed off. Like I'm kind of pissed off. Like I need to tattle on her, because what if she's doing this to somebody who is getting money back, and then they're gonna, lose their money because they're not gonna think it through, and they're just gonna follow her directions, because she's a tax lady, and give their private stuff to an email account that they don't have a freaking clue about, right? So as I'm telling the front desk lady that, I was saying her, she literally leaned in, and I felt like God was just speaking to me. The reminder that I needed for the day was, and what she said, she's like, she's like, honey, always listen to your gut. Always listen to your intuition. It's always right. And then she went on, and she's like, I'll be right back. And she just changed gears, and she's like, I'll be right back. Let me go find blah, blah, blah. And I stood there, I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for that very clear, very direct message of always listen to your intuitions. And there's the message of the day. It's like, always listen to your intuition. Always pay attention to that. You want to hear what God has to say. You want to know what your signs are. It's right. It's right here, always with us. And all the signs that we get, that we miss, even though we're missing them in our gut, we know what the messages are. And it's really, really hard sometimes to understand or receive that message right there, of that we always know what the message is, because it can cause so much emotion inside of us. And that's where you gotta like go, breathe into that emotion, allow it to permeate through your body, allow yourself to truly feel it, allow yourself to react to it a little bit, do some journal work around it, do some meditation work around it, feel into it. If that emotion brings up anger, allow yourself to experience that anger, like write it out. I know a fellow teacher, educator, she was just recently, I was been following her stuff, and she had been diagnosed a couple months ago with having like a cyst and I think it was like I don't remember where the cyst was at, but she had this cyst. Oh, it was in her face, like right here or something. So she had the cyst, and it was going through, and if they had to do surgery, it could potentially like paralyze half of her face and everything. So she gets this news, and they want to go do a biopsy, and they want to do all this different stuff. So she goes in, and it was like everything inside of her was fighting against that emotion of, oh my gosh, I could have cancer, I could have that. And she was really upset. She was angry about it. Anger kicked in, and what she did in that moment, and the reason I'm sharing that is because it's like a lot of the times the emotion that we experience that's holding us from seeing the signs, holding us from getting the messages, is anger. We are angry about things, and we live in a society where we're told that it's not okay to be angry. It's not normal to be angry. It's not healthy to be angry. We should not tap into that anger. We're fearful of our own anger. And we're like, oh, but if I go there, like, ooh, right? And we instantaneously start to worry about how we're going to be perceived, what's going to happen. So you're angry. We all get angry. Anger is an absolutely normal, natural, healthy emotion. We all get angry. Letting yourself experience that anger does not mean that you have to, in my terms, burn down the village. You do not have to burn down the village, but you can express it. So much like this fellow educator did, what she did was she's just like, I had a lot of anger about this. So what she chose to do was she chose to write angry letters to this potential cancer that she had. And so she's just writing it out, and she's writing out all these angry letters, and she's letting the journal just have it, and then she's ripping those pages out, and she's burning them, and she's letting that out in that kind of expression. And that's the kind of stuff, like, if you're experiencing it, get it out of your system somehow, because if you let it sit inside your body, then it's going to sit there and it's going to do more damage. She knew that the only way to make sure that cyst, whatever it was, that she had to, not be cancerous, to not add to the problem that was already there, because it obviously was something that she had buried inside of her that she was not being really in tune to, until boom, she has this, right? Then the physical ailment happens. Once you have that physical ailment, a lot of times people get more fearful. The realization of any physical ailment is that it is there to share with us a very direct message, a very clear message of, okay, you've not been paying attention here, so this is what's going on. Deal with your shit, and this will go away. And guess what? She shrunk that cyst down to nothing. The doctor was like, we don't have to do anything because it's gone. So it went from like, we need to do a biopsy. We're worried about this. It's growing at a massive rate. It's starting to like interfere with different things, to being gone with, I think she said like 6 weeks or something. She did it through essential oils and certain protocol diets, juice fast, and clearing out her emotions and really getting right with things, getting into that receiving mode of positive energy instead of the restrictive mode of negative energy. And I think one of my final points here is to realize that if you want to know where you're at in abundance, in your manifestation capabilities, if you want to know what you're vibrating at, what kind of energy you're sending out, your emotions will tell you what kind of energy you're sending out, how good at manifesting you are. in that moment. We are all fantastic manifestors. We manifest 24/7. It is just a matter of if we are conscious of it or not. The majority of the time, we're unconscious of it, and we're manifesting negative stuff into our lives, or what we perceive as negative stuff. We get this stuff that we're not happy with coming in, and we're like, well, how's that possible? You're doing it. You're doing it. I'm doing it. We do it to ourselves, okay? We do it to ourselves. And if you want to know, well, hey, I got these dreams, these desires, these goals out there. Do you feel positive inside, or do you feel negative? If you're feeling negative, then those dreams, those goals, those desires are not going to manifest. It's just more than likely. I mean, unless you're trying to manifest negative stuff, then like have at it. But speaking to those of you who are wanting to manifest good shit into your life, more money, more health, more success, more love, whatever it might be, like those kinds of things. Those things are vibrating at a higher frequency. If you want to manifest that stuff into your life, then you need to match that frequency. If you're not matching the frequency, then it's not going to come to you, because it's not going to change its frequency. You have to change your frequency. If you are in a negative mood for a long period of time, I need to be very clear on this. If you get into a negative mood, we all get into negative moods. Don't set up camp there. If you're not setting up camp there, you're okay. Allow yourself to experience that for the moment and bounce back, okay? This is like bouncing. Just realize that life is going to present us with different challenges. You do not have to be happy-go-lucky. Just, woo, like think 80s Amway person. Yeah. No, we don't have to be 80s Amway person, excitement level. 24/7, all the time. You don't have to be turned on all the time. You're allowed those downtimes. It's how you bounce out of those downtimes that counts. Back to Norman Vincent Peale's quote of, any fact facing us is not as important as our attitude toward it, for that determines our success or failure. It's this little bug flying right here by me. I don't even know where it came from. So it comes back to your attitude towards it, and really just realizing that, hey, we're going to have down times. Bounce out of it. Get that bounce going, okay? One of the greatest and most comforting truths is that when one door opens, another closes. But often we look so long and regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one that is open for us. Man, I read that quote this morning, and I wanted to throw it out the door. I did, because I was like, because I had that week where I'm just like, I've got to bounce out of this, and I know that I got to bounce out of it, and I feel like I'm starting to bounce out of certain things. And it's just been like a low, like nothing's really changed in my life. Certain things have presented themselves, but in truth, nothing's really changed, right? And I always come back to that. I'm like, so what is different in this moment than what was different in that moment, right? So it's like really looking at that kind of stuff. And typically not a whole lot changes. And sometimes we do have some drastic changes. But again, it's how we feel about it. But when I read that, like, because I'm real big on, I know that one door opens, another closes. If like one door closes, another one opens. Or at least the window gets open. Something happens, right? Like there's always a new opportunity presenting itself. There's always something more for us to look forward to. There's always potential out there. There's always room for growth, a room to have more experience of ourselves, of life, of manifesting, of having this blessing come into our life. We just got to be willing to see those doors that are opening and walk through those doors. But it really is true that we often stand there, and I kind of picture a hallway full of doors. There's all these doors that are closed to us, and then every now and then there's one that's open. And it's like we're standing there in front of this door, and we're like, we just come out of this room, and it's like the door just bam slams shut, and we turn around and we just feel sadness or anger or something. And we're like, so we're like trying to get into the door, but there's not even a handle to get to the door anymore, right? There's not even a handle to get into this space. And we're going, let us in, let us in, let us in. We're so focused on this door. Meanwhile, directly right behind us, there's this open doorway. It's like there's not even a door on its hinges over there. It's kind of like my daughter's bedroom right now. So I'm going to tell you guys a funny story in just a second about doors. Then I'll close on that note. But yeah, I mean, so it's like we have these open doors right there, and we have our back turned towards them, and they're open for us because, and we're just not seeing them, and we're focused in on this door that's right in front of us, and it's shut, and that's just like, no, because we think, here's what we do, we think that the only way through, the only thing that can solve our problems, the only thing that can bring us joy and happiness, connection, the things that we want. Everybody wants joy, happiness, connection. Okay, that's what we're all looking for. Every single thing that we do is for those things. That's every single decision that we make is trying to get us closer to those feelings. Okay. So we're trying to do that, and then we get caught up on this door, and we miss the joy, the happiness, the connection of the open doors behind us to the side, wherever they might be popping up, because we're not looking for those. So what door are you staring at? And if you're wondering why you've been banging on this damn door and it's not opening, maybe it's time to turn your butt around and see the open door that's right there behind you, because it probably is. It probably is. So I'm going to close on that note on this, and I'm going to tell you a really funny story. It was so cute. Got home last night from a community event and everything, and my 15-year-old daughter, she comes downstairs, and she got into some serious ass shit last week, to the point that I've never taken a door off of its hinges with any of my kids. So she's my fourth teenager through the house. I've, my two older girls, they did a lot of stuff that pissed mom off, but I never took their door. So with her, I thought, I'm going to try something different. And I was very, very calm in her punishing. And it was just like, this is just what's going to happen. And I took her phone, which I never do that either, really. Normally I just have like good conversation and like everybody gets back online and stuff. But she did some things that I was just like, I need to really drive this home. So took her phone, took her out of school for 2 days, because that's punishment, because she loves school. And I took her door off of its hinges. And we're out, and I said, so this was going to happen. I'm going to take your door. And she's like, okay. I said, actually, it's already done. While we were out, your brother took your door off its hinges. And she's like, oh, I don't want my brother to know what's going on. I'm like, nobody knows what's going on in the house. It's not a big deal. So, like, but you have no door. And she's like, you took my door? You took my door? Really, Mom? Really? I'm like, yep, I took your door. So, took her door. So she's been a week without her door and her phone. And yesterday, she's watching the 3-year-old for me last night, so I guess she got him to fall asleep in her bed. But prior to that, she's upstairs and she's working on her homework and everything. And Rowan, my 3-year-old, he goes up to pick on her, and they're doing different things, and he doesn't make it to her bedroom, though. So she makes him mad. So she goes to her bedroom, and she's working on stuff, and he's like playing. And then he comes over to her bedroom, and now she has no door. He never realized that she had no door. So he stands there, and he like walks into her room, and he rounds the corner to grab her door, and he runs into, she's got a great big tall mirror that is behind the door, and he sees the mirror, and he looks at her, and he's like, Jules, where's your door? And he's like, where's your door? Because I was going to slam it. And I was like, that little booger really just said, like, he came in with the idea that that's it. He wants to slam her door shut. He wants to slam her door shut, but there's no door to slam. And she's like, oh, Mom took it. And he's like, Mom took it to work? Why would Mommy take it to work? I was like, yeah. There's a message in that story. We look at things, much like the 3-year-old, where's the door? Where's the door? Where is it? Where is that door? Sometimes how often are you standing in a doorway, looking for the door, looking so hard for the opportunity, looking for what you think should be there, and not even realizing that it doesn't exist or that it's someplace else. There's a reason for everything, and maybe we don't understand the reason. Maybe we're that 3-year-old that's just going like, why would mommy take the door? Why did mommy take your door to work? Where are you doing that in your life with opportunity, with different things going on? And what kind of doorways are you missing? What kind of doors are you missing? What kind of open doors are you missing? What are those things there's right in front of you that you're just not seeing? You're just not seeing because you're like the thief in the night that's running from the police. So where are you running from your truth? Where are you not experiencing your doorways? And what is that internal attitude saying about your overall picture? So there you guys go. Here's the message of the day. I don't even remember what the heck I titled this right now. But remember that what you see does depend on what you're looking for. So look for the open doors. Look for those opportunities. They are there. The signs are there. The messages are there. God is always speaking. If you believe in angels, angels are always around. And, the messages are always coming down. So be open to those. Try to figure it out. If you can't figure out what the messages are, ask for insight from friends and that might have some insight. Do some research. There's so much research online for different things as well. You don't have to get all crazy about it, but start looking for those common messages that are coming through and try to embrace those a little bit better. Tap into your heart centers. If you don't know where your heart's located, it's located right here. I know that sometimes we have a difficult time feeling that heart of ours, but it is there. Tap into it. See what it has to say about things. If you're feeling nothing in your heart space, well, then tap into that nothing, because that just means that it is well covered up, well masked, and not wanting to receive the messages that are there because they're too scary, they're too emotional. If you feel tension in your chest, if you feel shut down, if you're in avoidance to your emotion in any fashion or form, then that's exactly where the work needs to happen. So I love you guys, and I will catch you tomorrow at 6 a.m. before we take off on a 5-hour drive, because Addison, Bell, and I are off to work at a retreat tomorrow. So over the weekend, actually, we're going to be camping and potentially getting rained on. We'll see if the weather forecast changes on that. But we've got some orgasmic talks to talk about, and some fun girl time to experience, and fun festival time, retreat time as well. So love you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow around 6 o'clock. As always, if anything in here touched you, hit the little share button. Oh, I see some sad faces. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know who sent those sad faces, but I'm sorry that you feel sad about maybe. I don't know what. Tap into that emotion. Hit the little share button at the bottom. Share it. Share this message. Help me get Conscious Coffee out there. Facebook and their algorithm's still messed up. So, yeah. Okay. Love you guys, and I will catch you guys tomorrow around 6 a.m.-ish. Bye.